Back for another performance is our regular attendee, Dave Ramsey, America's #1 consumer advocate and businessman.
Agents just sell whole life because of the high commissions. I still love you, Dave. Hello and welcome to the Durham Talents channel. My name is Jesse Durham. For today's episode of our Myths, Mysteries, and Misconceptions series, we're going to address whether or not agents sell whole life because of high commissions, as touted by the financial entertainers and gurus, the consumer advocates like the Dave Ramseys out there in the world. Let's talk about it. Let me first preface by recommending a book. I've read a book, thoroughly enjoyed it, by Rabbi Daniel Lapin. It's right here, maybe barely off screen. Thou Shalt Prosper. And one thing that I've gathered from that book is how we are inundated, influenced, and propagandized to hate capitalism, business, wealth. Okay, so he encourages you to think about any start of a movie. It's dark. You look up some tall skyscraper and then you land up at the top room where this big, mean, bad businessman is doing wrong. Okay, so he's trying to get us to pay attention to such things. Business, capitalism, free markets, wealth, money. Okay, and again, Thou Shalt Prosper. It's a good book. I would encourage you to check it out. And we're all remunerated in some ways. So if I had to pick one word out of that statement, I guess for starters, it could be commissions. And I've earned commissions as a life insurance agent, licensed in the states where I do business across the country, and I'm paid commissions. I have clients who have careers and businesses where they earn commissions. I've also before been a teacher, a law enforcement officer, and in those fields I earned also, but it had a different word: salary. And we've just been conditioned, we've been propagandized to view those ways of remuneration differently. But at the end of the day, I get paid, Dave Ramsey gets paid, you get paid in whatever it is that you're doing in life, and I bear you no ill will. If you're doing things honestly, I bear you no ill will. And I could have an honest appreciation for a consumer advocate, but using commissions as a club, as some cudgel over someone's head, I believe is wrong. Okay? Just in general, commissions. That's my opinion. Like it or not, that's okay. You're entitled to yours. I don't begrudge you that. And then high commissions. You know what I think about when I think about high commissions? High value, high service, fantastic product. Okay. So again, if we're talking about honest things, and I understand that the insurance world, the financial world at large is very susceptible to worthwhile scrutiny. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's worthwhile to question things. I don't mind questions. I don't mind verifying, vetting, researching, ascertaining for yourself what's going on. Is something worth this to me? So let's go there for a minute. I recently finished a great book that I enjoyed. I had some practicable takeaways from that book, and the author was Dave Ramsey. I read his book, The Legacy Journey. Really enjoyed it. Didn't agree with all of it, but I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of takeaways that I've been sharing with my family and talking about with friends that I have, and just sharing what I enjoyed out of that book. Now, nobody twisted my arm to buy that book, and definitely not that book from that guy, right? I don't begrudge him paying. I mean, I voluntarily chose to exchange my money for that book, knowing that I value lots of things that Dave Ramsey says. And I'm just using him as one example. There are plenty of folks, and I get the YouTube comments and etc. from the detractors out there who aren't open to learning. Where was I going? I completely lost my thought on that one. There's so much here. Commissions are not bad. That's what I want to say. Commissions are not bad. And if someone earns high commissions honorably, honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. So let's start with that. I think that without business, the world stops. Okay, business makes the world go round. The biggest business that makes the world go round, Nash says, is banking. He says without banking, all other business would come to a screeching halt. This is worth noticing, because how is it that folks get, for example, we'll talk about whole life. Folks get whole life insurance offered as a product. Well, from a distribution system. It's distributed somehow. Okay, this product, this whole life product. And it may or may not be billboards or TV commercials, but it's agents, it's individuals that help educate you on a product, bring that product to you, cater, construct, for those that are implementing the infinite banking concept, getting a custom built policy for your needs, your purposes, your intentions. Okay, so a properly structured whole life policy with a mutual company that pays dividends. The distribution system is agents. And they're paid for the work that they do. I'm paid for the work that I do. I don't have a cookie cutter approach. We custom build policies for clients. We service those clients. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. I'm an open book. I'm accessible to share my best practices, to speed up your learning curve, to provide service. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, let's dive in on a bit of a nuance right here. So whole life insurance, a commissionable product, when an agent writes a whole life insurance policy, a standard, plain Jane, vanilla type whole life insurance policy, they stand to earn a commission based off of the total premium paid. That makes sense, doesn't it? Sure. Well, when a policy is properly structured for the infinite banking concept, for sure, there's going to be one particular rider on that policy. It's called a paid up additions rider. It's what allows you to have an early cash value, a high cash value on a whole life policy, even in its first year, in its most inefficient year, and it's quite efficient even from year one. But it does get better and better year over year, contractually, guaranteed. But in year one, a paid up additions rider will allow you to have a high cash value that you can leverage for the banking purposes in your life. Okay, well, if you look at that total premium, often enough, not always the case, again, every policy should be built for the individual, but often enough, the lion's share of the total premium that an individual would pay for an IBC style policy goes into the paid up additions rider. Again, not always. Every case is different, but often enough, for sure, the lion's share goes into the paid up additions rider as premium. So a portion goes to the base premium, the base whole life policy itself, and then a greater portion goes to the paid up additions rider. That creates that early liquidity that you're going to use. Okay, so that means that the total premium is going to earn the agent a commission, but in a different way than the plain Jane vanilla, where it's all base, it's all just standard whole life insurance policy and premium. You earn at a smaller percentage off of the total premium of a properly structured IBC style policy than you do. Now, normally, and here I can play devil's advocate. I can also say in the same breath that yes, but normally folks are paying more significant premiums for an IBC style policy than they would for a standard whole life insurance policy. Again, not always, but often enough, they would be paying more significant premiums because they are creating that early liquidity, that early cash value. But that doesn't discount the fact that when someone is properly structuring a policy for an individual that's wanting a significant liquidity, even in year one in their policy, they are foregoing the type, even if the percentages are different, the type of commissions that a box store agent in a box store would experience. I hope that makes sense. It's worth noticing. that an agent, traditionally speaking, would forego some commissions to properly structure a policy for someone who's wanting to implement infinite banking. It's just an aspect that should go into the consideration when you're vetting your professional, when you're getting to know them and you're working with them. Of course, I believe they should have your best interests, and it's going to be in the contract. That policy should be structured for your intended purposes, now and long range. But that is one aspect about this saying. It could be a misconception about agents earning high fees, allegedly earning high fees or earning too high fees to satisfy other people. And all right, I'm going to go there for a minute. I know this is like chasing rabbits perhaps for you, but I'm going to go there for a minute. Banks are not nonprofit organizations, which is what we talk about banking. You can be the banker in your life. You can enjoy the control in the banking, the profitability from banking in your own life. So banks are not nonprofit organizations. They're in business. And I'm saying you can do that for yourself. Okay. So the profitability that banks experience, we could experience for ourselves. We don't have to abdicate that function to them. Okay. Let's use Dave Ramsey again. I voluntarily purchased a book from that best-selling author. Do I begrudge him that? No, I wanted the book. I wanted the book more than the money. That's why I paid it voluntarily, and I got value in return for the dollars. So while he's self-acclaimed as a consumer advocate, let's just at least say that he's in the business of being a consumer advocate, if we can give him that title of being a consumer advocate who's in the business of being a consumer advocate and not just a businessman touting to be a consumer advocate. I mean, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt there. Again, I listen to his stuff. I like reading his books. Don't agree with a lot of stuff. I agree with more than I disagree with, probably. In this narrow space of whole life insurance and IBC, he's off the mark. But okay, I agree on so much stuff and respect him for so many things. But again, he's a best-selling author. He's a CEO of a big business. He's in real estate. He's an investor, okay? Multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire by now, okay? I don't keep up with that because, again, that's kind of the whole point is I don't begrudge him any of his success. That is the point here. He'll begrudge somebody who's out here building an honorable business. And again, there are the bad actors. There are bad actors, okay? I was on the phone with a gentleman this week, and he was telling me about how he came across in business an individual who was, allegedly, accused of certain things and under investigation for fraud and whatnot in the financial space. So it happens. There are bad actors. But while a Dave Ramsey will just blanketly say whole life insurance is for nobody, agents who sell whole life insurance are scum, insurance companies that sell whole life insurance are scum, don't do anything with those individuals, don't do anything with those companies, while he'll say those things, I'm out here buying his books. It's just interesting to me on lots of different levels. It's very interesting to me because I don't begrudge him any of his success that he's done honorably, honestly, professionally. Great. But I don't think that a blanket statement can be put on whole life insurance or on agents who sell and promote and, can I say, personally use? I mean, I do practice what I preach, okay? Dave Ramsey will talk about do this with your 401ks and do this with your IRAs, and he probably does those things. But you know what else he does? He runs a big business. He makes real estate investments. He sells books, okay? So all these different types of things go into working through mentally this allegation that agents sell whole life because of high commissions. It's worthwhile. And let me jump in here and say that, my belief is that the workman is worthy of his hire. Okay? Small job, small pay, big job, big pay. Does that make sense to you? It makes sense to me. The more value that you bring to the marketplace, the more that you're going to be compensated for that. Okay. Solve big problems, have big rewards. Okay. Experience compensation commensurate with the service that you've provided. Does that make sense? It does to me. It does to me. All right, a couple more quick points. One is that at the end of the day, an individual who decides to implement infinite banking, they pick their premium amount. So yes, everything that goes into providing that product for the individual who picked their premium, the cost of that is in what they're buying. The service and product that they're getting is in the premium that they. So I have picked the premium amounts that I wanted to pay, that I chose to pay for all of the several policies that we own with multiple insurance companies, mutual life insurance companies. Okay. I picked the premiums. Again, this is me privately contracting on a premium amount that I chose for a product that I wanted. So if there are commissions paid out of that, do I mind? No, because I bought it. I picked that amount. I picked that product. I picked everything. And again, I believe that when you know what's going on, you'll know what to do. So I'm encouraging you first to know what's going on. But at the end of the day, newsflash, folks, the consumer pays for everything. Again, the consumer pays for everything. The consumer pays for everything. Okay? No matter what it is. Like if I buy, let me use the can of peas, because Nash talks about the grocery store example in his book, Becoming Your Own Baker. If I want a can of peas and I exchange my money for a can of peas, am I just buying a can of peas? Or am I helping that business in buying the can of peas to pay for their mortgage, their utility bill, their employees, their distribution system? Okay, so much is going, but I'm just buying a can of peas. See, at the end of the day, the consumer pays for everything. If I'm buying a can of peas, I am buying a can of peas. And I picked the can of peas and I paid that, or I didn't pay that, picked a different one, different store. Okay, that's up to me. And that's the beauty of market. And we shouldn't be hating on business or money or wealth or commissions, because the consumer pays for everything. And if someone buys a whole life insurance to implement infinite banking in their life, the agent that delivered that policy, that constructed that policy, and that's helped mentoring that client on using that policy, they are paid commissions relative to the type of business created for that company. And let's keep walking this out. For those that are implementing infinite banking, don't you become part owner of that mutual life insurance company? So does it not behoove you as part owner of that company, by being a policy owner who's going to receive the dividends that that company pays out and who's going to enjoy the contractual right to guaranteed compounding capital and a future death benefit for your heirs and beneficiaries? What a beautiful relationship that you've entered into. Don't you want your company to be profitable? I sure do. I sure do. So I hope that this has been helpful, interesting conversation. If you have thoughts, I will read those in the comment section below. If you'd like to address your own questions privately, or if you don't know anything about this infinite banking concept, you can find all of our key resources on our website, durhamtalents.com. I've got a free introductory presentation to the infinite banking concept. Look for the Start Here button. And I've got my calendar link where we can talk through your questions for you to look at what it could be like for you to implement this concept to your household, your business, or your investing. So this has been a great pleasure for me. I look forward to our next conversation. Hope you have a great day. You too, Dave. Take care.